Going everyone, Halim here from Village Food Tours. As always, thank you so much for watching. Today I'm here at Flavors of India. I'm gonna give some India food a try. So come inside with me. Let's have Florida man eat some Indian food. Flavors of India is located in Cocoa Beach, Florida, off of A1A. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. With this channel, we take looks at different restaurants, mostly in the Space Coast area of Florida. Now, the decor and flavors of India is really unique, really awesome. We had the Thali, Thali platter is what we started with, what I started with. I also had this beer here. I can't pronounce, I think it's bira. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. We also had some garlic naan, and I may be butchering all the names and everything. This is probably the first time I've had Indian food in a good 30 years. I grew up in a very diverse family. My parents would take me out. We grew up in New York, and while I was in New York, I didn't remember actually until I came back to the restaurant of eating so much Indian food growing up. It was all very familiar. All the memories came flashing back, just how like everything does when it hits your senses. And it's just that memory factor kicks in with the senses. Now, one of the cool things was the Thali platter. I'm just going to say it that way. It was only $9.99 for this whole dish. It comes with all these items, and what's going on right now with everything going on with the new COVID normal is that they had a buffet prior, so now, buffets are kind of a thing of the past, unfortunately, unless they're serving it to you. So instead of having the buffet where you get up and get your own dishes, they just bring it out to you a mini buffet style. So all of these food, all these menu items, it's unlimited. And on the weekends, it's ups to, I believe it is $12.99, $2-3 more. And then it adds what I believe is goat and lamb to the menu. So like unlimited goat and lamb, that's really, really awesome. So what's going on, and the reason I'll be focusing on Indian food, is I have a collaboration coming up with a really well-known YouTuber. Eventually, once you see the collaboration happen, you'll know what I'm talking about. So he has a niche in Indian food, which if you do anything with social media, you kind of want to narrow it down. So Indian food is his thing. So I've been watching, researching, and it's kind of a scouting trip prior to our collaboration. So you're going to notice a lot more Indian food, and with anything, because with the walking food tours, taking people out, I have to know food and know about it. So I've been doing a lot of research, watching a ton of other YouTube videos on Indian food. So you actually are supposed to eat Indian food with your hands. That's the way that it's done. You basically take your 4 fingers, shovel it in together, scoop it in with your thumb, and push it in your mouth, and down the hatch it goes. Kind of the same way as with African food. If you've seen any of the fufu, it's the same type of thing. Other than that, you use the naan, and then you can kind of pack everything in there together and scoop it up, make like a little taco deal with the naan, and just use your fingers. So I didn't want to go too in with my fingers just because I had some meetings after this, and I wasn't too sure. I'm just still getting a feel for the Indian food. I also believe I had like a paper cut on my finger, and I did not want to have that get spicy food on it. Which, if you don't know, Indian food does have a little spice to it. It's just all the herbs and the spices. They just combine to create just a very aromatic food that's just awesome and tasty. There's so many different varieties. Now, when you initially look at it, if you're not familiar, you'll see what looks like a bunch of soups, and these are the curries. Now, curry, I believe, is Indian for basically sauce. So they just have different types of meat, and they're each cooked a little differently with different types of curries or sauces. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a beer fan, so I had to go with the Indian beers, and I didn't necessarily remember the names, but they were all real good. And then just something about a cold, crisp, refreshing beer as you're eating spicy food, it just really blends well together. And anytime I try to go to any kind of restaurant, I try to focus on the drink that would be drank along with that theme of a restaurant. So if I am at an American bar eating wings, I'll be happy with a Yingling. If I'm at a Japanese restaurant, I do like to have like either the Asahi or the Sapporo is probably one of my favorite Asian beers. When I traveled to Thailand, it was called Leo, but that was one of my favorite beers. It was very light, crisp, and refreshing. I just really like trying different beers and the different process that goes into beers from all over the world. One thing that was notable about the restaurant was just how nice and awesome and amazing the staff was. Like, soon as I walked in the door, it was super friendly, just welcoming. They were eager and happy to talk about the food and give me the details. And the truth is, when you look at the menu of Indian food, if you're not used to it, it is overwhelming because you think that there's so many different dishes that they have on there, when in reality, it's a lot of things prepared the same way, just in different sauces. So they'll have like chicken, shrimp, lamb, and then you're adding the different meats in. So it could be a little overwhelming looking at it. But if you go to a great Indian restaurant like this one, they'll walk you through the menu. They'll help you out. Not every dish is spicy. A lot of the dishes are more mild than spicy. It's just, if there are, you just got to watch out. It is also a lot of, I believe South Indian food is coconut based. They use so like more of a coconut milk, whereas if it's north, they use more dairy, and a lot of yogurt is used as well too. Now, these little ball things were cheese balls, like fried cheese balls. I don't know the name of it, but they were absolutely amazing. I was blown away. This was the one item I had them bring me more from the buffet, because as you're going to see, I had more food than just this, as I usually do. I try to sample as much food as possible so I could give you a full review. And even though what'll happen is, because I live in the area, I'll visit the restaurant again, and one review will have multiple items. So what I ended up having was the Malai Kofta, which I'm probably butchering the name, comes with a side of rice, and it reminded me of kind of the red curry sauce that I believe is the butter, like butter chicken, but is the red sauce. I could be wrong. And the kafka, these balls are made of, it's like potato and like almost like a flour, wheat, and fried, and they're really just, it was really awesome. I was really pleasantly surprised. It almost comes across the same texture as meatballs, but there's no meat in it. So if that's another thing about Indian cuisine, is there are a lot of vegetarians. So if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, they can accommodate all those dishes. Like I said, some of the dishes have the dairy in it, but they can omit it, and you can do the ones without dairy. So you can be completely vegan, no meat. And just look at this little ball. It's just tasty, just yummy. The curry sauce on it, it came out piping hot, and they also brought out a hot plate to go with it. So I don't know, I mean, I guess the balls need to be kept warm. So keep your balls warm. Now, like I said, I like to focus on whatever drink pairs well with the place. You know, it's like kind of when in Rome type deal. So I went with Indian beer. It looked like they have a very large selection of Indian beers, and I look forward to coming back and giving them all a shot. So in addition to the first beer that I had, we had this one, which they said it was an IPA, but I believe it was like a wheat beer, and it was a pomegranate flavored. So it was very nice and crisp, but it did have that like IPA funky hoppiness to it when you drank it. So I actually started getting into beer through whiskey. Whiskey is what I started. Jessica got me a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue. I went all into wanting to learn the depths of the flavors. I nerd out about it. I've tasted about 150 different whiskeys. Beer I like because it's less expensive, and I can, not drink as much as with the whiskey, and it's just a different feeling, especially being in Florida. A hot glass of whiskey isn't the same as a nice ice cold crisp beer, and also whiskey doesn't pair well with every restaurant as well. So this here is my beer drinking, alcohol consuming, analyzing face, because what you got to do is take in all the different depths of flavors, the taste, kind of chew on your drink so that you just get more out of it. I do the same method with my food, and then of course all your senses from sight to smell all affects it. So as always, guys, cheers. Thank you so much for watching, and follow us on all social medias at Village Food Tours. We'll see you next time. Thank you.